In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the Crypto Keeper and Blockchain Crusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boy Crypto Keeper here with Debate Crypto. Guys, big news tonight. We've got some great TA minds, some of the best in the field backstage right now. But I'm thinking, you know what? Why do you want to get TA from the best when you could get TA from Keeper himself? Okay, terrible joke. Let's bring them on. Let's see what everybody's up to. We got in the house. Let's bring them on. We got Tom Crown. Tom, how are you doing this evening, brother?
What's up, man? Just chilling out, watching the paint dry on the charts.
Nice. Well, we're looking forward to hearing more about that. We got your boy, Bill Noble. Mr. Bill, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad that you are here. And as always, your boy, Crypto Blood. What's up, Blood?
Hey, what's up, Nick? How are you, man?
Hey, Chief. Hey, what kind of cigar is that?
This was a Partagas or Partagas.
Means nothing to me. Hopefully it's good. So
yeah, it's not a blunt, guys. I don't smoke weed. Sorry.
It's not a bullet. And then the weekly Master and Commander Magic Internet Money. What is up, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well. We are super excited about the show tonight, guys. If you're not involved in our Discord with Danger Close Alpha with the DCA fam, make sure that you guys do that. I've got a little DCA merch tonight. We got on the t-shirt, got on the hat.
Hey, every time I see DCA in the chat room,
yeah,
it throws me off. I'm thinking dollar cost average every time. I'm like, what the hell are we dollar cost average?
That's right. And you know what we had before? We had a paid group, and it was the Debate Crypto Academy, DCA. So you know what I'm saying? We're just keeping it real.
I see.
Keeping it real. DCA, it's the most simple thing you can do in the crypto space. And then I just bring you guys on for anything other than DCA so that you guys can, analyze the charts and tell me what's going on. Make sure to smash the likes, guys. Hey, follow each and every one of these creators. They've got good stuff going on YouTube, Twitter, all of the socials, TikTok. Follow them everywhere. I've got some of their links down below the video, so make sure that you guys do that. All right, cool. Let's just dive right in. Let me pull up right quick, see what's going on. I think, like Tom said, the paint has been drying in the markets, but let me double check. Let me update this. We have got, whoa, we're way down there. Okay, cool. The cryptocurrency market cap is 943.18 billion. Oh, man, Tom, you're right. Down 0.15%. Bitcoin's at 19,492, basically flat. ETH 1330, basically flat. We go all the way down to number 6 before we get any sort of movement, which is XRP. XRP fam put them up 6.35%. And then, just the rest of the market looks pretty flat. So let me ask. Let's kick it off. Tom, you said watching the paint dry. Why are we watching the paint dry right now?
Man, well, we've been range bound for. I mean, I haven't even been looking at the charts. I have my alerts set, and I've just been chilling. Let's see. It's been 100 days since June's low, and we've spent the last 10 days between 19.9 and 18. Not very spicy, really. Lots of kind of intraday moves. Candles just settling back where they started. Not the most exciting, but it's always that way before you get a big move. Volatility contracts and then expands. So why we're seeing the world get shaken up by the Forex markets, I think, is the answer.
I didn't even take that specifically into account. I took the world being shaken up into account. I didn't take the actual Forex markets.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Let me ask you, Tom. Tell me a little bit more about that. Why are you saying we never talk about Forex on here? So talk to me about why you're saying the Forex markets are shaking things up.
Well, the entire world's looking at Chairman Powell or Chair Powell for guidance, and basically he's come on this month, 2 months prior, and said the same things. We're not at our targets. We're going to have to keep increasing rates to battle inflation. We need to see the job market weaken. We need to see housing cool off, and basically telling everyone in the markets that they're going to continue to hike interest rates, which is going to have downward pressure on pretty much everything in the world. We've seen the CNY, virtually everything that the dollar's paired with has taken a giant dump this year. Swedish krona is at all-time lows. The British sterling pound basically traded to parity. The euro lost parity. It's like struggling to get back up. The dollar is consuming everything seemingly in the world right now.
So, Bill, let me ask you. I know you get into some of this as well. How do you when you see that the Dixie is up incredibly versus everything else right now? How do you like to play that? What does that say to you as when you look at that in the great scheme of things when you're looking at that on the charts?
Okay, a couple things. So, the same guy that was telling you inflation was transitory a year ago is now waving a chart around that says 5% Fed funds as the entire UK pension system blows up
Collapses.
from bond market losses. So, Jay, how's that strategy going? How's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Now, as far as the dollar goes, yeah, it is king dollar, but the way I'm looking at it is, the Fed can talk tough, but the market's just going to assume that anything it does in the future in terms of rate hikes is just going to break everything worse. Like, I thought the Fed was going to break something, but it's, things are breaking at warp speed.
I think
so. As far as
our goal,
yeah, you're probably right. And then the dollar. Okay, so the dollar's gone parabolic, but in legacy, when you go parabolic, sometimes you have to go sideways before the trend can resume. And then that's where I think crypto's got kind of a window. But you're right. The crypto's frozen in its tracks because every currency is getting hurt by the dollar. The difference with crypto is that, crypto is so fast moving. Crypto saw this coming a long time ago. Legacy FX is catching up, where crypto has already been hammered.
So, Blood, as we're seeing this happen, Tom was talking about everything being really flat. We've been talking about the dollar just absolutely skyrocketing. I know with your Bloodalytics, you guys have been doing really well. I've been paying attention. It's helped me out a couple times. And stick around, guys. We've got a little promo code for you this evening, but we're going to give that out at the end. So make sure you stick around for that. But yeah, how is the Bloodalytics playing this? Is this a time that you are in and active and doing well? Is it kind of sitting back and kind of waiting? What kind of strategy are you taking right now?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I'm a quant trader. I develop systems to kind of eke out that alpha in the markets, and I don't really care, man. As long as there's movement, I'm going to make money. So as long as there's price action, my system is going to make money. But just zooming back out to more of a fundamental macro standpoint, I agree with the other panelists. The Fed has pretty much put themselves in the corner that they no longer can get out of. We're at a point now where the dollar is wreaking havoc across the world, and it's good for us right now. Domestically, it's not a problem for the dollar to be strong,
right?
But it is wreaking havoc across the world because most of your world debt is denominated in dollars. So they have to pay their debts back with their money that's cheaper every day. The UK, the pound, this is crazy because I used to trade FX for like almost 9 years.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah.
The pound, bro. I remember it was trading like $2 to a dollar, 2.2, something like that. It is now at parity, and it's lost 20% in 1 year. Since year to date, it's lost 20% against the dollar.
That's huge.
And I think most of it is from like the last 2 or 3 months. So it's not necessarily the amount, it's how fast the amount occurs in these drops with these fiat currencies. And that's going to cause some unintended consequences. And it's going to disrupt a lot of the derivatives contracts in various markets. It's going to cause another black swan event. We don't know what it is, but there's no way you can have world currencies drop 20% in a year. There's no way you can have yields skyrocket like they have, or i.e. bond prices drop the way they have. We're just getting started, bro. We're just getting started. So we don't know what the ramifications of all this is going to be, but it's not going to be pretty.
Magic, what's the trading volume looking like recently? I know you do a lot of assessments on, as it relates to volume. What are people doing? Are people getting a little bit more stringent on their trading, or are they ramping things up? What's going on there?
So like the high volatility moves that we're used to getting, where we're getting millions and millions of dollars in terms of delta coming in for these, day trades or swing trades, it has been a little bit limited. What you have seen on the moves that have transpired in this tiny range, as Tom alluded to, being kind of like watching paint dry, is like subtle absorption. So you will see someone that has a little bit of money getting into the market and kind of like moving that price towards those targets. It's just everything's so tight right now that you're really not getting an edge. I'm pretty neutral on what's going on. Obviously, you favor the trend, but at the same time, if you see strength entering the price action, you have to be ready to take advantage of it. So for me, that's just going to be a patient. It's a waiting game. Kind of like he said, I put it on my Twitter. I've just got alerts set for a few key levels. That's it. I want to see the reaction and then go from there.
So what are we looking at? And I'll throw this out to anybody. Is there anything in particular that any of you are specifically looking at? Now, when I say specifically looking at, we can talk about a price target if that's what you're looking for. We can talk about volume if that's what we're talking about. We can talk about something macroeconomically that we're looking for, something as it relates to the dollar, or somebody tell me, do you have anything in particular that you specifically are looking at in the grand scheme of things to possibly look for a move?
I'm looking at the indices, the stock indices.
Okay.
But even more so, I'm looking at the Dixie, seeing what's going on there. I'm keeping a eye on the Dixie because I think it plays a big role in overall risk on.
You're waiting for that to you're waiting for that to turn back around, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it fell down today. It hit an all-time 52-week, not all-time, but 52-week high a day or two ago. So I think to see the equity market tank today and the Dixie tank today lets you know the stock market really went down even more than it looks like, because there was a weaker dollar today, yet the stock markets went down as well. To Magic Internet Money's point, as far as cryptos go, I'm seeing very positive price action just looking at the charts for Bitcoin. It broke out of a pennant to the upside. Then we got slammed back down, and we actually went back into the pennant. Maybe I can pull it up on my screen really quickly. See if I can share.
Let me know when you have it pulled up.
Yeah. Let me see.
Actually, you don't have to let me know. I can see it when you pull it.
Yeah. So it's here. I'm just gonna move this other channel I drew earlier down. But can you guys see that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it broke out of the pennant, which was very bullish. Right. Then we got slammed back down. When I saw this move back down, we traversed that whole move up. That was very, very bearish for me. And then not only that, we saw it break down back into the pennant. So I said it was game over. I just knew it was over. But there were buyers there. As Magic said, they're just nipping at this line here. This is a 1 hour chart. But you're seeing a lot of price action, positive price action for Bitcoin right now. And it looks like we're about to head back into the channel that I had drawn here. That's been, we've been in this bad boy for since August, honestly, back in and out of it. So it's positive price action to me. However, I think this is all about the British pound and people fleeing the pound, going into Bitcoin. Okay. But I think they will do just like we saw with the ruble. People flee.
Hold on. Why are they fleeing to go into Bitcoin specifically?
I mean, it's an easy way out quickly. And then I think then they'll go into fiat. So it only takes a little bit of money to go into the crypto markets to really move it. So because it's a very small market, but there's a decent amount. I think it's traded the most volume ever against the pound. Bitcoin has. So you're seeing a lot of fleeing out of the pound into Bitcoin. And I think, but this is the thing. I think you're going to see people move from Bitcoin into King Dollar. So same scenario we saw with the ruble.
I talked to Blood the other day. We were talking on the phone, just kind of chatting about some things. And I told Blood that I was trying to be cash heavy right now. And he agreed. Yeah, like I totally understand. Explain to me, Bill, why in a time like this of uncertainty, the dollar's absolutely rocking and rolling, or at least it appears that way for the time being, with basically all of the macro things going on in the world. Why can it be so important? And again, guys, we're here obviously for entertainment purposes. We're not telling you what to do. Why is it so important, or why do you hear so many people talk about trying to be in a cash-heavy position in a time like this?
Okay, well, in emerging markets, okay, when people don't know what to do, they just go, you know what? Just give me a US dollar deposit at the Fed or at some huge bank in America. Just, give me my 3 or 4%, and I'm just gonna, avoid these 20% losses. Like my fellow guest said, people are scared that the pound's going to drop even more, so they put money in Bitcoin. Okay, so people go into cash. I think people go into cash at the start of a move, and then at the end of a move, everybody's in cash, right? So, but the dollar goes up in times of crisis because people are just like, give me a US dollar deposit and I'll come back when, the carnage is over. Now, I mean, I've got two outside the box things about sentiment. If I do,
Yeah.
are you up for that?
Hit it for sure.
So, okay. So let's check this out. This is the smartest guy I know in the market. Dimit on Twitter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate
He's
that.
pulling up something from you, Blood, for sure.
Yeah, I know.
You guys. Okay, this guy gets a graphic. This has got to be at like Financial Times. Largest holders of crypto assets and growth equities have liquidated. Seeds of inevitable, and I love this, future envy cycle in place. So poor millennials, right? After 2008, they had to live with their parents. They couldn't get jobs. Then they finally got jobs, got married, right? And then they went out to buy a house, and they had to settle. They had to pay twice the price for half the house. Okay. They had to pay up for their car. And then the next thing you know, after they bought the overpriced house, okay, all the risk assets that they have dump. So what did they do? They're like, well, I've been through enough trauma in my life, so yours, I'm out. Right? 50% of these people dumped all their risk assets. Right? And then, when everyone sells and everyone goes into cash, right? And everybody's afraid, right? And then you add a little magic internet money, and this guy was like, yeah, I think they're going to sweep 1,300. I've been looking at the charts going, God, how did he get that? And what did he do? Sweep 1,300. Okay, ETH sweeps 1,300 and it doesn't break. And then from the same guy, this is seasonal. So when there's no price action, I think sentiment and seasonals can matter. So this is very outside the box. These blue lines are the changes in season. So winter, spring, summer, fall. Okay. And when the seasons change, this is ETH in the stock market. Whatever ETH does, either right before or right after the change in season, it kind of turns around and does the opposite. So I think, there's a bunch of examples here. I won't explain them all, but, in the spring of this year, ETH kind of did this little spurt after after springtime started, and then it dumped. Okay. And then, we had a summer bottom in June, and we got a modest rally, and then, Magic Internet Money said, we're going to 1,300. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. So into the fall equinox, which was like, I don't know, 8 days ago, ETH in this market is traded terrible. Either did nothing or just, they were just slamming this thing. And now, okay, maybe it's a fall bottom. Maybe you're going to wake up one day and someone's going to go, you know what? Maybe it's this simple. Like I can pull up DeMark work. I can pull up all kinds of stuff. But how about this? Every single commodity this year has moved, right? Oil, wheat, the list goes on. The only two commodities that have not moved this year are Bitcoin and gold, right? And there was a quote from the CFTC chairman that I saw in an ex-Goldman chat room that says there's going to be we're going to put out some regulation, and we think it's going to be very good for the price of Bitcoin, from the CFTC. So everyone out, everyone kind of negative, tactical level swept and it's holding. Can't wait to get the update from Magic. And the seasonals indicating that, hey, there's an outside chance of, since they were slamming it into the fall, that they could turn around and take things up. I mean, how much can you flood into the dollar before a highly divisive election and Putin threatening to press the button? I mean, is anyone questioning? Like, you can question King Dollar all you want, but it's still going up. But and like the Bank of England is raising rates and printing money to save their pension fund. Does that sound like what Satoshi was talking about? No, wait, that kind of craziness. So, I mean, with that, I'll turn it back over to you. I think sentiment and seasonals matter.
I just want to make one quick comment because someone asked in the comments, they're like, going from crypto to fiat, and it's not going like directly necessarily to M1, which is like liquid dollars. It's what Bill is saying, going into M2, cash equivalents, T-bills, something that's earning some yield. That's what the rest of the world is going into. So we gotta. It's not.
They're not talking about mattress money.
No.
Right.
They're not going directly into some cash dollar bills, y'all. They're going into some T-bills and some treasuries and all of that stuff. So just wanted to make that clear.
No, thank you for clarifying that, Blood, because a lot of times I think that is a common misconception, especially for people that maybe haven't been around quite as long. And I take that kind of for granted.
Right.
And when I say moving into cash, people are thinking, you're walking around with stacks in your pocket,
like me.
Right. How you always roll.
Come on, man.
Exactly. Hey, I want to take a quick second. Make sure to smash the likes, guys. I can't see how many likes we have. We got 53 people in here. I'm hoping to see at least 53 likes. Crypto Billy, thank you for the super chat. He said Tom Crown, Frankie Candles collab coming in soon. Okay, Tom, you
we
and
got
Frankie.
one.
Oh yeah,
we got one on the books. Yeah, I think it's 4th October.
Nice. If you guys are not following your boy Frankie Candles, 5:45 to 7:30 Monday through Friday, make sure to check him out. He's over on BitBoy Crypto's channel. And then also Sean, $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Says make sure to smash that like button, aka like booties, for Keeper and an amazing panel. Huge respect for everyone on the panel tonight. So, that is not what I meant to do. There we go. Okay, so thank you. So Magic. Bill was kind of referring, talking about what and where you see things headed right now. So give us the alpha, man. What are you seeing here?
He was specifically referencing Ethereum. I actually went over that chart updated last night. I'll go ahead and share my screen so you guys can at least see what I'm talking about, because sometimes I move a little quick. That's SPX. There we go. Okay, so ETH is a pretty simple chart. Main reason we were looking for that low to be swept, it was just right here. I think it was like the first of the month when we were talking about it. So it was a ways back here when we were looking for this move. It did make that final move up. However, you've come down to essentially the range lows that you've established here. And you had a nice point of control that was coming in from the breakdown. So that's all we were targeting. We were like, okay, we have an inefficiency. Let me make sure that we're not extending on that. We have an inefficiency here. We're looking to fill it. It's also your local gold pocket. It would also run the stops of everyone there. If I was in this market to get the best trade, this is going to be the place that I'm interested in. And you can do something with the 702 and kind of extend your gold pocket, which is essentially where you came down to. So a pretty important support area. And main reason being is if you do lose this like little zone of support, you are looking back down to this daily in Q3 open, right around 1070 to 1036. And that's really hanging on by a thread, because when you look at Ethereum, I have a USDT chart on it that I put up because it had better history on ATAS, which is a charting software that I use. Essentially, you have a single print just beneath you. And so these can operate like magnets. They're inefficiencies in the price. And if that single print is breached and opened, you're going to probably see 736 almost instantly. So it's really in their best interest to start defending some of these levels. And I actually built this chart with you guys, I think a couple months ago. We haven't touched it for quite a while. But 1418, prior all-time high, also a merged value area low, going to be a big area. But in reality, 1560. So if you're looking for Ethereum and you're looking for the move, if we can get any kind of an action to the upside out of Bitcoin, looking for like 1570 to 1590, give or take. It just lines up really nicely with all the local areas we'd be looking for. Like your Q3 is coming to a close. It's your point of control. Your month of September coming to a close, point of control. All you've got to do is get back inside your range. And if you can get that, you've got a great R to R, and you can actually take this back up to this level, which will be a fairly major inflection point to see if you can challenge for a new high. But unless the rest of the markets are making that same move, I'll be treating these as like intraday trades. I'm not looking to swing these things too long term and marry any positions until we see a sign of strength in both the, like I said, the SPX and then out of Bitcoin as well. So everything's kind of moving together. Believe it or not, it's within firing distance of its Q3 open, just like Bitcoin is. They're all kind of relatively close to their monthly POCs and their quarterly POCs. So everything's trading the same, just slightly different levels and price action. But yeah.
And Magic, if people want to get more involved with your trading strategies, some of the stuff that you were just showing, I know you guys teach this. Where's the best place for them to get hooked up with you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. There's a link to our Discord there, or on Twitter at MagicM1. And yeah, just join the Discord, ask questions, be involved. We're working on a website to get everything going there so that we can streamline things a little bit better. Because I think right now we just got like, I want to say 20 plus videos over order flow and a few other things that are just kind of hanging out there. I'd like to streamline it a little bit and get a more proper like classroom setting where we can sit down, because that's a really kind of a nuanced thing to tackle by yourself and just try to learn from watching.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes when you sometimes when you get going, as even as well as I feel like I know the market, sometimes my brain's like, but hey, I just try to figure out what are we going up, we going down, which way we headed here. And once I figure that out, okay, cool. This is the numbers I'm looking for. Here's where we're headed. I want to take a quick second. R.A. Daniel says, "A keeper." Let me see what this says actually. "A keeper, love the King panel today. Can I get me some Bill Noble on Sin City Crypto? Crack a beer for you boys, downtown San Diego." Yeah. Hey, Bill, have you been on Sin City Crypto? Do you know
I haven't. I've heard of them. I've seen them. I'd love to.
Okay.
I'd love to check it out. Yeah.
I can introduce you to them. Robin and Dave are awesome. Actually, while I was out in Vegas, went out and got on their show, and definitely a good couple of guys. Tom Crown, question for you, brother. So I think, is this your first time on a TA Thursday on Around the Charts? Is that right?
On TA Thursday, yeah, but I've been on your channel before.
Yeah, you've been on the channel before. I just didn't think that you had been on for an Around the Charts episode. What kind of trading strategy would you say that you have as a whole for the people that aren't familiar with you?
Man, Altcoin Daily asked me this when we made a video last week, and I sat there and like couldn't answer it. Basically, I don't think I have a set style. I mean, if we're looking at trading or my overall kind of money management strategy, they're going to be very different. I mostly just hold, like my portfolio mostly just sits, and it's done that for years. But I do.
But you do a lot of
the
analysis on YouTube. Most of what you're doing, you've got charts.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of things are you teaching people over there?
Well, I really just go through my own analysis, and I do a lot more analysis than I do trading. That has been a key in my success, I think, over the years. My style is kind of old school. I do a lot of BTC paired trading. It's all very kind of long swing, gradually layered, kind of buys and sells. A lot of the time I'll have nothing fill for a month, 2 months, and then all of a sudden I get a ton of fills at once. My strategy is not super interesting, and that's why I do different content on my channel, because it's not so fun to watch long swing trades not do anything for months.
It can take some time. Well, let me ask the panel here. We got new people always in the chat come in. They hear, 4 guys that are extremely well versed in the TA space, and sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. Get different strategies, the verbiage that's being used that people are like, wait, what is he saying there? Simplified, does anybody have, with the market looking how it is right now, does anybody have any and again, we're not here to give financial advice, but does anybody have anything that they feel like can be really effective in a market like this? Because I feel like for me, one of the hardest things right now is to me, and I could be totally wrong, you guys tell me that I'm wrong, it feels so unpredictable right now. I feel like with all of the macro factors in just left, right, sideways, across the world, across the pond, here in the United States, I feel like there's so many question marks, midterms coming up, so many different moving parts. Anything for the newcomer that you could talk about?
I can chill for you. Yeah, DCA.
Nice. I like
Danger
it.
Close
DCA.
Alpha or
Yeah,
dollar cost
baby.
Well,
average?
definitely he
up
meant
to
Danger
the
Close
viewer.
Alpha
Or
for
Danger
sure.
Danger Close Academy. I mean, we got 3 to pick from.
He definitely
Well, that's
meant
up to
Danger
the
Close
viewer,
Alpha.
man.
Get in the Discord. That's obviously
right,
going to
there
help
you
you. He
go.
definitely meant that. But no, I agree. I agree with you, Tom. That's definitely been a strategy of mine for a long time. Anybody have anything that they would talk to about the
in
people
order to
that's the really-
DCA, you got to have some wham.
Okay.
You got to have some walk around money. So
Okay.
now I am talking about cash
Okay.
money.
Okay.
You have to, in order to take advantage of these volatile times, you got to have some cash on hand so you can buy, so that you can DCA. So that's my advice to people. Don't be all in these uncertain times. Have some dry powder, and you can dollar cost average in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Bill, you got anything in particular you'd like to throw out to some of the newer people?
Well, I mean, he's probably not the most popular figure in crypto, but I mean, Buffett is like, buy fear, sell greed, right? It's like, short of Putin, launching a tactical nuke. I mean, how could fear get any higher lately? You know what I'm saying? I mean, fear is high, and the best trades are the toughest trades.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, this is the best. Actually, we said this, right? This is the best show in crypto that no one watches. Like, we have 50, 60 people on here. We got all these smart guys, right? All this great alpha, right? When there's 5,000 people in this chat, then maybe you sell, right? But when there's 50, right? That's revulsion. That's the millennials going, oh my God, I gotta sell this stuff. I mean,
Hey, man, I'm a millennial.
Right. I know, but
I'm just messing with you, brother.
Right. But you've got charts and tactical levels, right? Millennial, guy in a diner is like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. And when you see that kind of fear, right, that kind of capitulation, it's regrettable that people lose money, right? But that represents, if you got cash on hand, right, that represents opportunity.
Amen.
Right? And sometimes you have to you have to just oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to buy this. It never trades bad at a top, and it never trades good at a bottom. It never looks good at a bottom.
Right.
That's why it's a bottom.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Bill. I talk about this quite a bit whenever it comes up. The best thing that I ever have done in the crypto space was buying the COVID dip, was buying the almost daggone near the bottom of COVID. And it was the scariest thing that I've ever done in crypto, because I have my wife saying, like, what are you doing? Right. I didn't actually tell her on the front end. I kind of told her afterwards. And then her response was like, what are you doing? Because it is counterintuitive to everything that you could ever want. It feels, but that's also in the same
Trading
breath.
is counterintuitive. A successful trader is a counterintuitive trader.
And that's actually, you know what? It's funny you say that, Blood. I shorted ETH on the merge when everybody was telling me to take a long position. And I'd asked a number of people, and I genuinely only did that because I thought that the institutional traders were going to be trying to counter if some of the big names were, counter trade.
It was a buy the rumor, sell the news. And I was telling people forever, if you've been trading long enough, that's a behavior that repeats every damn time.
It really does.
It's the buy the rumor, sell the news. And I mean, so to Bill's point, everyone's sentiment is fear index at 0.
Yeah.
So theoretically you should be buying here. It's just crazy because there's so many tailwinds that I think we still have to face. I'm like, I just feel like it can get even worse, but he's right. Like, now would be the time to start buying.
So
but I think we do go lower though.
I do too. And that's what I was actually moving on to my next question. Does anybody on the panel have a specific event or time range that they're specifically looking at for any reason, whether it's the midterms, whether it's just a random time, whether it's a season change, whatever? I see Magic shaking his head. Magic, what
time? I've always got time.
Yeah. You do. I may have led with that, knowing that you were going to have an answer for me. What are you looking at timeline wise, Magic?
I've shilled these for, I don't know, years in some cases, but October 9th is a really big date, just a fib date on a macro cycle pool. We've talked
October
about that
9th,
one.
just
October
flat
9th.
out October 9th
It's,
every year.
yep,
Right.
that is your
Right.
golden ratio.
That was the top in 2007 for equities.
Was it?
October
I
10th.
have no
October
idea,
10th.
but
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
several things pointing to the second week of October being pretty interesting. And then I did some time work on the S&P 500 as well. And I did this back in July, and I kind of lost track of it, and it really panned out well. And I'm actually looking for my next date on that. I believe November 27th is the next inflection point for me. And yeah, I think that would be it. I'm sorry, November 28th, which is technically a Sunday. So I don't really know what that means, but the opening of that week would be the next inflection point. But every single timing inflection up until then has either been an absolute top or an absolute bottom in our current trajectory off the all-time high. So
what about October 9th this year?
I don't really know, man. So the idea behind running like price distribution isn't necessarily to know what's going to happen exactly, unless you're running like something within, a vacuum where it's like a confined harmonic, like an AB equals CD. You're looking for a 1-to-1 in time. In this case, it was just one of those things where I know it's an inflection point. We're coming to some kind of action here at the end of this range. It seems like I just can't imagine we're going to continue going for another 100 days, which maybe that would get us all if we just went sideways for another 100 days, but I just don't see that happening. So something has got to give. And the reason I'm really leaning neutral on it is because there are so many moving parts right now. It's not as simple as just saying, hey, this is what the chart says. You can use that to protect your capital and risk management, but at the same time, there are moving parts from the government, from the Fed. I think there's a little bit of a currency war almost going on at this point,
Absolutely.
I'm sure they're going to have a meeting of the minds and try to, someone's going to be calling the US, Federal Reserve and being like, hey, like throw us a bone here. You're crushing our currencies.
Can you please put the 5% Fed funds chart away, please?
Yeah.
Stop
so I think it's best to be malleable in this situation is what I tell people. I'm holding my shorts from up higher, so I've been holding them since March.
Okay. So you overall are expecting even a lower move as well.
There's no reason not to. You asked earlier about a strategy, and really the simple strategy, I actually tweeted this out on the 23rd because we're getting to that point where you should remain neutral and kind of malleable. And it's an old quote from Jesse Livermore, and it just says, when you're doing nothing, those speculators who feel that they must trade day in and day out are laying the foundation for your next venture, and you're going to reap the benefits from their mistakes. So when you
basically
hear that,
the more time they're swinging the bat, they're making mistakes, and you're going to ultimately
because they feel the need that they have to gamble at that point. They're not trading, they're not speculating, they're gambling because they feel the need they have to be involved. So the best case scenario is kind of like Tom said, do more analysis right now, make a plan. We've talked about this before, write it down and have a plan for both directions, because you're not going to be right all the time. You have to be able to accept that, and you have to be able to be ready to capitalize on it if you're going to involve yourself. And no one really ever got rich by timing every bottom and every top. So if you miss the absolute bottom, hey, where were you wrong? Has the direction changed? And do you have something that's showing you that? Then get involved in the move, because crypto moves in huge swings. So even if you don't catch all of it, it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
I think what new people don't see most of the time, they see kind of, I even trade on my streams, people doing these fast moves in and out. Like, no position is still a position. You don't, nor should you be, in my opinion, in a leverage trade, especially 24/7, 365. Like, that's a great way to just burn yourself out. It's a great way to get sloppy because you're just tired and you're exhausted from losing or whatever. Yeah, you're just going to the slots, and you know what? Just go to the slots, and then at least you get to pull the bar and see all the colors and you have a little fun with it.
Just download Bovada, play poker online, do something else.
There you go. Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Get a hobby.
Well, I'm looking forward to some of I genuinely believe, and I've been saying this for a long time, and I'm not, the technical side of things, I'm very open with the fact that I do some trading, but it's more like following things like Bloodlytics, asking you guys, hey, where do you think this is headed? Pay attention, know enough to get myself in trouble with some patterns on the charts and whatnot. But I am looking forward to, and have been talking about for a while, that I think there's still going to be a massive opportunity this year. And the opportunity is an incredibly scary time. And I think that for me is, I think I look back to the COVID crash and say, hey, are we going to get, is it going to be a world war? Might get demonetized for saying that. Who knows? What's going to happen coming up soon that is going to be just a big, huge news event that has the fear, which is already at, I don't even know what the fear and greed index is at right now, probably like 9. That's going to drop it all the way through the floor and give us that huge opportunity. Is everybody on the... Go ahead, Bud.
One thing that I brought up maybe about 2 weeks ago, I covered on my show, was the Vatican moving.
We talked about that as well.
Moving all of their money. Yeah, they're moving all of. They had a mandate that they pull all their money back into their own coffers by, I think, the end of this month, which would be tomorrow, right?
Which begs the question, why?
So exactly why is the Vatican doing this? So I think again, it does, fear index at 9 or whatever it is. We think it can't go any lower, but there are some macro things happening that we have to pay attention to. That I think there's one more flush out before we make that next move up.
For those of you that don't know, the Vatican is one of the wealthiest businesses in the world. I don't know. A lot of times people are like, wait a minute, like, okay, it's a big church, but they're literally one of the wealthiest businesses in the world. So when they are talking, like Blood saying, they're talking about basically all of their capital that is outside of their, essentially their banking. They're saying, hey, bring it back home. My Blood, I'm going to tell you, this might sound, and gentlemen, forgive me, this might sound a little tinfoil hat-ish, but I wonder if the Vatican brings all their money back home. Now they've basically taken all of the, just brought it all back in. And then we have an incident. We have an issue. The grid goes down and all of a sudden we have to move into a digital currency, but don't worry, the government's here. They're here to save the day, this, that, and the third. I almost wonder, could that be an opportunity, or I shouldn't say an opportunity. Could that be a sign of a massive change coming into the markets where like they're pulling they're pulling it all back to themselves so that they can be in the best position when the actual digital change happens? I don't know.
I can jump in.
I think they do this every 7 years, right?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It's like it's called like the Shemitah or the Shemitah.
Shemitah.
That's
Yeah,
the Hebrew.
Shemitah.
Shemitah ended on the 28th.
Yeah,
It's already ended.
Yeah.
That's something
So-
different.
I feel like Keeper just described the end of the world. That's all he
Yeah,
did.
I don't know if that's
like we're going to the
Bill,
rock.
back me up, Bill.
danger close, or it's the danger close alpha world, right?
Very
That's
true.
right.
Like look at
the
this.
start.
What do you think? What were you going to say, Bill?
Well, no, I worked in a Wall Street bank in the currency department, and some salesperson stood up and shouted out, "Can I get a price for the Swiss franc for the Vatican?" And I turned around and goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I mean, these guys are, like you said, they're highly sophisticated traders. Okay. And what are they seeing? What are they looking at? Well, I don't know. How about Pax Gold, right? Like I said, gold has not moved, right? So here's a DeMark 13 bottom, right?
Oh, hold on,
It does this huge overshoot. So there's the 13, right? There's the support that goes with the 13, and this 0 that's here, right? In the DeMark Elliott wave system, that is like, that could mean a bottom. And of course, you've got this candle where, you went down and, it's full reverse mode. So if everyone's buying gold and the Vatican's pulling their money in, okay, that's interesting. But, doesn't that mean that Satoshi's vision, could be fulfilled in this world? In other words, like you're talking about new people, right? You may win, you may lose. Okay. But you still got to believe in crypto. So if gold is going to go up, right, or if the Vatican's pulling money in, or it's uncertain times and gold's moving, does Bitcoin follow? Is Bitcoin tied to stocks, or is Bitcoin a form of alternative money? Well, as the panelists have pointed out, Magic with October 10th, right? That was the top in 07, and CPI is on, the 13th, right? So, there are a lot of undercurrents. One thing that people aren't talking about is, Schwab's chief strategist brought up that the price of TVs is collapsing. You have deflation in parts of the economy. And you can get a 60-inch TV at Target for $500. Mm-hmm. So that CPI number on the 13th is going to be interesting, right? Like, if it's terrible, Magic's right. They're going to go print 1,000 and tear it all apart. But, And I'm just kind of wondering. I was like, wonder if gold holds, and I wonder if now's the time to think like Satoshi. And we'll see.
Yeah, and they massage those numbers too. So for those of you,
Seasonally adjusted.
Listen, it seems it is. It's just like the definition changes that have magically happened for what's a recession, what's not. They are moving goalposts to rub your shoulders, tell you everything's going to be okay. It's one of the most frustrating things that I have come to realize.
That's why it's so hard to. There's so like Bill said, there are so many undercurrents. It's so hard to pick a thesis and run with it because it's just so much stuff coming at you. You don't know which way is up. You don't know which way is down. And maybe they want it that way.
Yeah. And then what's the word where basically it's analysis paralysis. That's what
paralysis by analysis.
Paralysis by analysis. And I feel like that's where I fall in sometimes because I am such a macro, what's going on in the political world, what's happening with our food, what's happening with the dollar, what's happening in crypto, and all of a sudden you start looking at the Vatican, you start looking at all these moving parts. You're like, wait a minute, this is telling me this, but this could be this, and then we've got the dollar going and then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I got a bunch of crypto, I'm gonna hold on to it. Sometimes I get to the point where I just don't know what to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Gentlemen on the panel, is there anything that you would like to leave us with, some parting words this evening? Anybody got anything that they're working on in the background, the foreground, anything that you'd like to throw out to the people? Let's go around the horn and give me some parting words here. Tom, you can kick it off.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I just launched a new project, crownanalysis.com. Check it out. It's
crownanalysis.com.
That's right.
And what are you doing there?
It's a business and economics blog. I've only posted one article. I wrote it. I put a lot of work into it. Feel free to check it out.
Okay.
Kind of parting words, guys. The cypherpunks, Satoshi, whoever they are, created Bitcoin. Well, it had pieced together, but published Bitcoin in 2009 in response to essentially the situation we're seeing right now, except now is looking way, way worse. We can say Bitcoin's been correlated to stocks. We can say it's correlated to, anything, but we have never seen Bitcoin in the environment it was designed for. We are potentially looking and moving into that. Nobody knows. Is it going to function as it was intended? I don't have the answer to that. I know what I believe and what I want to be true, but we are going to find out. We're going to find out in the next year or so, maybe 2 years. We're going to see if it functions as intended. So let's go.
Yeah, because it's been nothing but I love what you just said there, Tom. I don't want to jump into, but ultimately we've been in nothing but up and to the right, really in a macro level.
Quantitative easing. Yeah, yes. Quantitative easing.
And so we've only seen Bitcoin in that environment. So you're right, Tom. We're going to learn because we've got things happening right now that we haven't seen. I thought it was interesting too. I think it was 7x. It's basically the price of homes versus the income, and I think that in 2008 it was like 7x, and we're at like 9x right now, which we've literally never seen. And owning a construction business, I'm definitely paying close attention to the housing market as well. There's so many different moving parts. Bill, what do you got for the people?
Okay, well, I like respect the levels and fade the herd.
Right? Okay, what do you mean?
So, meaning, if your levels hold, right, like, 1,300 in ETH and I don't know, let's just call it 20K in Bitcoin. I mean, why is everyone selling Bitcoin on top of the 2017 high? So look at your levels, see if they're holding, right? And then ask yourself, what's the herd doing, right? Is the herd cowering in fear? Or, is it time to fade the herd? Now, obviously, if 18K doesn't hold and some sort of macro event is triggered, all right, okay, we know what's going to happen. But always be cognizant that, opportunity can knock in the darkest hour. That doesn't mean you have to bet the farm, but, your thinking cap still works in a flat market or in a scary world. Don't lose the thinking cap.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think people get too emotional for sure. What you got, Blood?
Yeah, man. Speaking of emotions, that's why I quant trade, man. I take a strategy, back test it for a year or two, see results, forward test it, and I just follow the system. No emotions at all. I don't care what I think. I'm going to go with the flow. So, bloodalytics.com, check it out. But I want to say, also to Tom's point, I think, what was I going to say? I think, you just have to really take, every day at a time with all this data coming in. You just got to make sure that you don't get overwhelmed with it. Like Bill said, analysis through, paralysis via analysis. I mean, that's very true. We can do that easily. So one thing that's occurring tomorrow is options are expiring for Bitcoin. So you probably will see some type of volatility, some action there, up or down. Who knows? I don't care. I just want to see some volatility. So yeah, definitely. This is a great panel, man. We need to have like BitBoy numbers on this bad boy. Let's get those thumbs up, people.
I'm telling you, next cycle we will. I'm telling you.
Much respect, guys. I appreciate that. Magic, what you got, brother?
I kind of preach the same thing almost every week, so it's going to be very similar to that. You guys, we're at probably one of the most important points in Bitcoin's history. We've probably said that a million times, but this is, in the moment, the most important moment, and you should sit down with yourself, have a plan. And I'm picking on you, Keeper, where you said, I don't know what to do. I'm telling you, man, sit down, take a piece of paper, take the time, because you're using your money, and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do in this case, and then execute on that, because then you've got a plan. It's your plan. Whether you took pieces of what Tom said or Bill or Blood or I said and made that plan, it's still yours, because you know your situation best, and everyone that's watching should do that as well. If you're going to involve your money in this market, you got to sit down with yourself and have a real strategy and a real plan and live with the results, because those are your results, nobody else's. You can't blame others when it comes to stuff like this, because this is real life. Like it's your money, So if you don't know what's going on, it's okay to sit it out and wait for the market to reveal its next move and get involved when it's on your terms. That's all I'll say.
I love that, Magic. And there's no doubt I echo what you just said. I have had a plan for so long, and just every day, or my long-term macro strategy, but the trading has been where I've just not had that plan, and it's been like gunslinging sometimes, where I'm like, am I going to take a swing here? All right, let's go, And
it's fun. It's hard not to sometimes.
Yeah, but it's bit me probably more times than it has, helped me. And so I will definitely take that to heart. Do the same thing basically long term, or do the same thing short term that I've been doing long term. I definitely appreciate that. Crypto Fam, we love you guys. You could be anywhere on a Thursday night, but you are here around the charts, TA Thursday. Make sure you do two things: smash the likes, and make sure to follow everybody on this panel. And as I said at the start of the show, we got a promo code for you if you are looking to check out Bloodalytics, which, by the way, that's been one of the indicators I've used that's helped me recently. Made a nice trade and had done well with that. What's the promo code, Blood?
Debate Crypto 25.
Debate Crypto 25. That's bloodalytics.com. Debate Crypto 25. So make sure to check that out. I got to tell you, it's a nice little thing. I think it's part of the reason why I like it, Blood, because it takes my greed and my emotions out of it.
But you'll be surprised. I got people in there that literally, they're so used to losing, and so they're so used to being in their own way when trading. They still have an issue with just following the damn system. That's how crazy it is, man. So
why I got to take half off the table? Like I remember we had that conversation. Like I'm like, well, wait a minute, that seems like a small. Listen, bro. Just do what it's telling you to do. The computer is smarter than you. Yeah. No,
hey, you're just playing the odds, man. It's just the odds. It's playing the odds. It's, you're gonna. My thing is small losses, whole bunch of small losses, big wins. So people have to get comfortable. Like Magic said, you have to get comfortable losing. That's like paying your rent. If you're a trader, you have expenses, right? You got your internet, your whatever else, your trading view, whatever. Add another one on the balance sheet. It's called losses. You gotta pay the piper, baby. You gotta pay the piper.
They're gonna happen. That is for sure. Well, guys, we bring this type of caliber people on the show so that you don't lose more often than not. And obviously, like as always, we're here to entertain you, but we got a lot of smart people on the panel. Make sure that you follow each and every one of them. Thank you for being here tonight. We love you guys. Just remember, question everything, trust nothing, and until next time, hodl like it's hot. We will see you soon.
Peace.